Tyler Brooks looked at his broken shoes and started to cry. He was only 10 years old, but his heart felt so heavy. The sole of his shoe was flapping loose. His toes could feel the cold ground through the hole. It was early morning in a small town in Ohio. The sky was gray. The wind was cold. Tyler stood outside his school, hiding his feet behind a trash can. He didn't want anyone to see. You know that feeling, don't you? The feeling of being different from everyone else. Tyler dreamed of running track. He dreamed of winning a race in front of his whole school. But how could he run in shoes that were falling apart? Every step hurt. Every step embarrassed him. That morning, something happened that would change his life forever. A man was watching him from across the parking lot. He saw everything. He saw the shoes. He saw the tears. He saw the shame on Tyler's face. What this man decided to do next would shock the entire town. Would he help? Or would he simply walk away like everyone else always did? Stay with me. This story will touch your heart. You need to see how far one small act of kindness can go. Tyler Brooks lived with his mother in a small apartment near the edge of town. His father had left 3 years ago. Money was always tight. His mother worked 2 jobs just to pay rent. Tyler never complained. He knew she was tired. He knew she was trying her best. But there was one thing Tyler wanted more than anything else in the world. He wanted a pair of real running shoes. Not old ones, not borrowed ones. His own shoes, bought just for him. The school hallway smelled like old paper and floor cleaner. Fluorescent lights buzzed above rows of gray lockers. Kids laughed and shouted between classes. Tyler kept his head down. He walked fast, hoping no one would look at his feet. The man who watched him that morning was named Coach Mike Anderson. He ran the track team at Tyler's school. Coach Anderson was in his 40s, tall, with gray hair at his temples. He had a quiet voice but sharp eyes. He noticed things other people missed. He had seen Tyler running alone during lunch, again and again, in shoes that were falling apart. "You've got real speed, kid," Coach Anderson said one day, standing near the track fence. Tyler looked up, surprised. "Me? I'm not on the team. Why not?" Tyler looked down at his shoes. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. Coach Anderson understood. He had grown up poor too. He remembered running his first race in shoes 2 sizes too big, stuffed with newspaper to make them fit. That memory never left him. It was the secret fear he carried, the fear of being seen as less than everyone else. That night, Tyler sat on his bed and stared at his shoes. He thought about quitting his dream completely. Maybe running was only for kids whose parents had money. Maybe it wasn't for boys like him. But then his phone buzzed. It was a message from Coach Anderson. "Be at the track tomorrow morning. Early. I want to see something." Tyler's heart pounded. What did the coach want? Was this good news? Or was it about to make everything worse? The next morning, Tyler arrived at the track before the sun was fully up. Coach Anderson was already there, holding a stopwatch and a clipboard. "Run 1 lap," Coach Anderson said. "Just 1. Show me what you've got." Tyler swallowed hard and stepped onto the track. His shoes flapped with every stride, but he ran. He ran like his life depended on it. When he crossed the finish line, Coach Anderson looked down at the stopwatch, and his eyes went wide. That's a school record time," he said quietly. "In those shoes." For a moment, hope filled Tyler's chest. Maybe this was his chance. Maybe things were finally about to change. But then, everything got worse. The school principal, Mr. Anderson's boss, walked over and overheard the conversation. He shook his head firmly. "We don't have budget for new equipment," the principal said. "Rules are rules. No exceptions for one student." Tyler's hope crumbled instantly. He turned and walked away, blinking back tears. Coach Anderson made a decision that day, a decision that raised everything to a whole new level. He decided he would help Tyler himself, even if the school wouldn't. That evening, Coach Anderson visited a small shoe store downtown. He asked about running shoes for a growing boy. The price was more than he expected. He didn't have much extra money either. His own daughter needed new winter boots. His car needed repairs. Helping Tyler meant sacrificing something important. You are not going to believe what he did next. Coach Anderson decided to sell his own guitar, an old one he had played since college. It meant everything to him, but a boy's dream meant more. The next day, he brought a box to school and found Tyler at lunch, sitting alone as usual. "I got you something," Coach Anderson said, sliding the box across the table. Tyler opened it slowly. Inside were brand new running shoes, bright white, still smelling of fresh rubber. I can't accept this, Tyler whispered, his hands shaking. You can, Coach Anderson said, and you will wear them at the regional race next month. Word spread fast through the school. Some kids were happy for Tyler, but others were jealous. One boy, a fast runner named Kevin Walsh, felt threatened. He didn't like the idea of a charity kid beating him on the track. Everyone will know you didn't earn those shoes, Kevin said one day, cornering Tyler near the lockers. You're just a charity case. The words cut deep. Tyler's confidence shattered instantly. That night, he almost quit the team completely. Race day arrived. The stadium was packed with parents, teachers, and students. Tyler stood at the starting line, his new shoes tied tight, his heart pounding harder than ever before. The gun fired. Runners burst forward. Tyler stumbled slightly at the start, and for one terrifying second, it looked like he might fall completely behind. The crowd gasped. Would Tyler recover? Would all of Coach Anderson's sacrifice mean nothing? The next 10 seconds would decide everything. Wait, I need to pause here and be honest with you, because this is where the story reaches its highest point, and I want you to feel every second of it. Just like Tyler did on that track, Tyler's legs found their rhythm again. The shoes gripped the ground perfectly, just like Coach Anderson promised. Tyler surged forward, passing one runner, then another. Kevin Walsh glanced back, shocked to see Tyler closing the gap so fast. With 50 meters left, it was only Tyler and Kevin, side by side, both pushing with everything they had. The crowd was screaming now. Coach Anderson stood frozen at the finish line, hands clenched, unable to speak. 10 meters. 5 meters. Tyler leaned forward with every last bit of strength in his small body. The finish line camera flashed. Silence fell over the entire stadium as everyone waited for the results to appear on the board. The scoreboard flickered. Then it showed the result. Tyler Brooks had won by less than half a second. The crowd exploded into cheering. Parents jumped from their seats. Students screamed his name. Tyler dropped to his knees on the track, overwhelmed, tears streaming down his face. Coach Anderson ran onto the track and lifted Tyler into a hug. Neither of them said a word. They didn't need to. Everything they had been through together was written in that single moment. Tyler was no longer the boy who hid his feet behind trash cans. He was no longer ashamed to be seen. Something inside him had shifted permanently. He had learned that his worth was never in his shoes, or his family's money, or what other people said about him. His worth was in his effort, his heart, and the people who believed in him when no one else would. Kevin Walsh, the boy who had mocked him, walked over slowly after the race. His face looked different now, no anger, only quiet respect. That was an incredible race, Kevin said, extending his hand. Tyler looked at him for a long moment, then shook it. Thanks for pushing me. I needed that. Sometimes the people who challenge us the hardest end up teaching us the most. News of the race spread through the whole town within days. A local reporter heard about Coach Anderson selling his guitar to buy the shoes. She wrote a story about it for the town newspaper. People were moved. Some readers even mailed donations to the school, asking that the money go toward equipment for students who couldn't afford it themselves. The principal, who once refused to help, stood in front of the whole school at an assembly. He looked embarrassed but sincere. Sometimes, he said, the rules we follow blind us to the people right in front of us. I was wrong, and I want to fix that, starting today. He announced a new school fund money set aside every year for students in need of equipment, uniforms, and shoes. It would be named the Anderson Brooks Fund, after the coach and the boy who inspired it. But the story does not end here. Weeks later, Coach Anderson received a strange package in the mail. Inside was a guitar, not his old one, but a brand new one, nicer than what he had sold. There was no name on the card, only a short message, for the man who gave everything for a boy who needed it. Someone in this town noticed. Coach Anderson never learned who sent it, but he kept the guitar in his classroom from that day forward, as a quiet reminder that kindness always finds its way back, even when we don't expect it. Tyler continued running through high school. He never forgot the lesson from that first race that sometimes the people who help us don't do it for reward or recognition. They do it simply because they see something in us worth believing in. And somewhere, in a small town in Ohio, a boy who once hid his broken shoes now stood proudly on podiums, wearing shoes that carried more than just his feet. They carried the story of a coach who gave everything, a rival who learned respect, and a community that finally chose to see the people it had overlooked. Tyler Brooks no longer hides his feet behind trash cans. He no longer feels ashamed of where he comes from. That one small act of kindness from Coach Anderson changed the direction of his entire life. Maybe you've had a moment like this too. Maybe someone showed up for you when you least expected it, when you felt invisible, when you thought no one noticed your struggle, or maybe you were the one who reached out to help someone else, without asking for anything back. These small moments matter more than we often realize. They shape who we become. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe for more real-life stories told in slow English news stories every week, made especially for English learners around the world. Tell me in the comments, has someone ever shown you unexpected kindness at exactly the right moment in your life? I would love to hear your story. Next time, we bring you a story about a promise that was almost broken and the one person brave enough to keep it. You will not want to miss what happens. Thank you for watching, and thank you for learning English with us today. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next story.